Don't do it. It's dangerous. You're gonna lose all your money. That is a real possibility with cargo runs. Being honest, I totally get that you guys want to hear me speak for 10 minutes straight, but I just really wanted to show you all a simple trading route I found that is super short. It takes around 10 minutes at most. I've gone and done 10 rounds between 3 days and produce on average around 12,000 alpha UEC. Now that's actually rounding down too. There's definitely some routes that we're actually producing a lot more. So without wasting any time, let's get right into it. So start making your way over to Crusader. This will be the longest stretch of this entire run here, I promise. And make sure you go park your butt at Port Olisar first, because if the game crashes or 30k does happen, we want to end up back right where we were. Today we're going to be visiting Crusader's moon, Daymar, and to be more specific, we're going to be picking up cargo at Krude Ore, not Krude Ore closed, by the way. The one thing I would recommend before going out is visiting live fire weapons and picking up an energy shotgun. Now, there's little incentive for pirates at this point, but that doesn't mean it doesn't happen. I have had my ship hijacked, I have been killed, not just on this run, even though it has been very infrequently, but on other runs as well. And on top of that, sometimes there's just griefers. So you can use the video here. This is exactly what I bought. The energy shotgun with a holographic sight 3 times. I think that's just perfect. You will not need anything else there. From here, I'll let the video do the talking. The one thing you will notice is that I actually call docking services even before I leave this area here. And I also get my star map ready. Now this lets me get into my ship and pretty much gets me ready, good to go. So pirates have less time if they're hanging outside the Armistice zone of Port Olisar to catch on where I'm going, am I in my ship, am I starting to quantum drive, that sort of thing. Now that your ship is on, you can actually route your course fully, and now it's already up to Daymar, so it only took a second longer. And you will notice here is that you don't have to leave the Armistice zone to quantum drive out. In fact, you really don't have to move more than a few feet as long as it's not obstructed. So don't leave an area that's safe if you don't have to. Now, I don't know if there's an easier way to do this, but to kind of keep the map marker in the line of sight, I always spool up my quantum drive so I can just keep it right on my markers how far away I am from Krude Ore here, so I can kind of just gauge my speed over time as I get closer and slow down when I need to. Might be a tip, might be a better way to do it. I'd love to hear in the comments section if there's a better way to do it. While we are waiting, I did want to share the results because, like I said, over 3 days I actually did 10 rounds because I just wanted to see over time what the results are. Do they vary? Because they did in terms of results and probably demand in some ways. So, in the next few seconds here, I'm going to share you each one of the rounds and what they produce in terms of profit. By the way, guys, don't forget that you can actually speed up YouTube's video system. So if this is too slow for you, you can move this up to 1.25, no problem, and the video will go by even faster. So as we make our approach to crude ore, one thing I noticed when really starting to mess around with cargo runs is that sometimes at the trading terminal isn't always working. I don't really know the way to fix it. The one thing I think it's really just superstition on my own part is sometimes I just go get into my ship, move it around for a second, land again, retry, and it seemed to work. And in actually this instance of this video, you will see that's exactly what happens. Is that the trading terminal isn't working. This is actually the 10th round, the one that produced 426 credits. Is that I'm unable to actually see that there are any materials to buy. So I get in my ship, I end up moving, and then they're there, boom, there again. So just letting you know, that seems to work. I'm not saying it'll work for you. Again, if there are any other better methods, I'd love to hear them in the comments. And just like that, boom, there it is. So today we're going to be picking up Agricium and whatever else we want to buy. If we just want to fill it up, the rest right away. We don't want to waste any time. So the next highest profit from this terminal will be gold. So while we're only getting a small amount of Agricium, we're filling up the rest of the Freelancer base with gold, which yes, doesn't have a better return on investment, but it also doesn't waste any time. So, and got to cancel there as well. So that will happen from time to time. So make sure that that transaction does go through. Otherwise, you're going to end up back at Port Olisar realizing you have 0 cargo in your ship. Now the nice thing about Daymar is if you actually have Crusader in the horizon, it's really easy just to quantum drive without doing anything else right to Port Olisar. I think in this instance I actually had to map out the route to Port Olisar, but if you look at the horizon, look around at the sky, it's really not that hard to just say, you know, hit spool up, find the marker for Port Olisar, and just start heading there, and the second you exit atmosphere you can go right into quantum. So I recorded this run, like I said earlier, this is the 10th run, and out of all those 10 runs, this was the only time I ever ran into pirates. Now they're just NPCs, and it was really no difficulty whatsoever, just zooming right by them and quantuming right back to Port Olisar. So it can happen. Is it really much of a threat? Probably not. Now, as soon as you see Port Olisar and you get the little warning saying welcome or whatever, make sure you just hit the cruise control with C, and then you go in and call landing services. You don't want to be wasting any time just sitting in dead water, especially since you're not quite in the Armistice zone yet, and you want to start making your way there as soon as possible. Every so often, again, there can be pirates, and they are waiting for you to not pay attention here. But if you really just do exactly that and keep on cruising along till you park, you really shouldn't have any problems. It's a quick jump. It's not like having to do the dual jump on some of the other space stations. So if you were doing mental math while I was talking, with the Egregium and gold together, I spent 72,667 credits. Now, there are other times where it was around 80,000, 84,000 credits, but in this instance, for the 72,667 invested, we actually earned 85,093 credits. So that in total actually brings us up to 12,426 credits just for this run alone. Now the question is, are there more profitable runs? Absolutely. But this is a really good starting point, and especially for those who don't want to risk a lot in terms of credit investment, to start playing around with cargo runs, especially if you have the Freelancer to play with. The last thing I would always try to do is make sure you store your ship and then recall it, because we don't want that issue of your ship warping without you and then you ending up out in the middle of space. The last thing I wanted to provide with you guys is just a list of results on how my 10 runs went. I do have the asterisks there of when I was potentially attacked by pirates. Still don't always fully know if they were or not. But I'll let you decide. Is this something you want to do? Do you want to try it for yourself? Or do you just want to wait till maybe 3.10 to see, is cargo running more stable? I'll let that be your decision and not mine, but it's been fun doing this little run because it is so fast, so simple, and really not much of a headache. Either way, hope you guys have a good rest of your day. If you enjoy this content, I would love to hear more from you guys. Talk to you later. Bye now.